Oh boy. What a good game that I totally just beat. Shit!
Tarks Gauntlet.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are talking about Lord of Magna, Maiden Heaven. Not to be confused as Lord of Manga, Made in Heaven, as so many people seem to make the mistake of saying. Lord of Magna is a 2015 game by Xseed and Marvelous. You can tell just by looking at this case, this is a JRPG. Now, the very first thing I want to talk to you about is the case itself. So you look at the front of this, alright? Vibrant colors, anime characters, nice bold logo, the little T rating in the corner so you know it's not some little kiddie game. You can tell just by the front of this nice lenticular case that holds the game and the soundtrack, this is a JRPG. This is how you brand a box. This box looks amazing. It catches your eye, you know. You're the JRPG enthusiast, you're walking into a GameStop or an EB Games, you see this on the shelf, you never heard of it, you're gonna pick this up and you're gonna look at it. Now let's look at the back. Do you have the power? Are you the one? A young innkeeper's peaceful days suddenly become anything but when he comes across a beautiful maiden encased in a massive crystal. Now in possession of a mysterious power known only as La Crema, he finds himself on a quest to reunite the girl with her sisters, and with each heroine's arrival, the mystery behind their appearance deepens. That is the entire story. You play as the character you get to name. Of course, I named my character Tark. You inherited your father's inn. One day while you're out going through caves to look for crystals, which serve as money in this game, you find a girl who's encased in them. This girl is named Charlotte, and like so many other JRPG characters before her, Charlotte has amnesia. You take her into the inn, you give her a place to stay, she works there, and gradually over the course of the game, as you go out to find more money in these caves, you find more girls, and with each girl, Charlotte gets a little bit more of her memory back, but these girls, her sisters, also don't really have all of their memory. Because characters with amnesia in JRPGs aren't common enough, this game has to have half a dozen of them. So let's talk about these characters a little bit. You get quite the motley crew of female characters, but they are all extremely one-dimensional. They all have a little shtick. They're all archetypes that never actually go any deeper, aside from maybe one, but even then, there's no character in this game with depth. The writing can be a little charming or funny from time to time, but it's all the same shit we've seen 100 times before. Even your main character is as bland as could be. The designs of them on the case look great and they look clean, but once it's translated onto the 3DS screen, the resolution just isn't there and it comes off almost looking like amateur art. The anime cutscenes in the game all look fantastic, but you're hard pressed to find one that's more than 5 to 7 seconds long, which is amazing because this is one of the points that they nail home on the back. Fully animated cutscenes enhance this epic fantasy tale. First off, the tale in this game is not that epic. I named my character Tark. Okay, now Tark owns an inn. The inn was his father's and his father's before him. It was built because there's a prophecy that carries on over the generations in their family. The prophecy involves these girls. When the girls arrive, so too will havoc and destruction. But these girls are innocent, right? So you want to be able to save them and you want to be able to save the people. That's really all there is to this. It takes until chapter 10, which is about 16 hours into the game, for the story to get any deeper. By the time you get to this point, I don't think anybody could really give a fucking shit about the story anymore. I wanted so bad to just fast forward my way through all the cutscenes because it was all a bunch of bullshit, and after 15 hours I was getting super tired of playing this. But let's talk about the battle system, because that's the main thing you play these games for, right? The battle system and the story. The story will make or break the game, so too will the battle system. Now, on the back, they tell you a tiny bit about the battle system above this picture here. It says, bowl over hordes of enemies in strategic turn-based combat. Now, bowl might sound like a strange choice word for a battle system, but it's actually remarkably accurate. The battle system in this game is actually kind of fun and pretty unique. So, you have enemies that can spawn hordes of minion enemies. The minion enemies only have about 30 HP. By the end of the game, they never get much higher than that. The minion enemies too attack in hordes, but each one can only do 1 damage unless they have a buff, in which case they only do about 6 to 7 damage. Now there can be a lot of them on the screen, and the damage they can dole out can actually become quite a threat, so you're going to have to learn how to use some crowd control. Now the cool thing about this, and why they use the term bowl, is when you hit an enemy, it will cause them to fly back into the other enemies almost like bowling pins. If you kill 10 enemies with 1 hit, that kind of works like a strike and you get the chance to go again. So this is a really cool setup that I've not really seen done before, and I actually think this was really fun. In addition to your standard attacks, you also get attacks that require the use of a tension gauge. Once you get 100 points in your tension gauge, you can cast a special attack. These special attacks are gained through the course of leveling up. You also have other special attacks that require multiple action points to use. On each turn you get 1 action point. Moving is free, however attacking and guarding is not. So if you want to save up action points to use these special moves, you're going to have to forego attacking or defending, and then use 2 points on the next turn. This is pretty cool, but I think they really needed a way to boost the amount of action points you get per turn. Only having 1 every turn up until the end of the game feels like kind of a shame, because I never make use of many of those special attacks. And this is because the game overall is just too easy for its own good, right up until the final battle, which actually requires a bit of grinding to overcome. Now, what makes this game really easy is not only do the hordes of enemies, the minions, die in single hits, but you can run suicide attacks with your female characters and never worry about dying as soon as your main character gets the ability Healing Light. Healing Light takes 2 action points to use, so if you never attack with your main character, you can use Healing Light every second turn. And Healing Light restores 3000 HP to each of your main characters, which is almost always going to heal all of them to full. So really, there's almost no use of saving action points. Just keep handing out your normal attacks, and then use the tension attacks when you have it built up. What really destroyed this battle system for me though, as fun as I did find it was the generators and just the stronger enemies in general. The stronger enemies don't deal enough damage to really be that much of a worry. They just have too large of a health pool, and the battles tend to go on for a lot longer than they're really fun for. And this is true with the generators too. The generators require physical attacks to whittle their health down and to take out. The generators don't attack you themselves, they create new strong enemies that also create minions, hordes of them. So if you don't take out the generators fast enough, these easy battles just go on and on and on and on, and the generators have far too much health for this to really be a good mechanic. It just stretches the gameplay out. Now, I'm not really asking for them to make the game easier, but the battles should have been made much shorter. I know it would have shaved 4 hours off the gameplay probably, but I'd take a shorter game with a funner experience over a longer game with a bad experience any day. I know normally my JRPG reviews are like 17 to 20 minutes long. This one's not going to be, because Lord of Magna, Maiden Heaven, just doesn't have that much to it. There's no overworld, there's nowhere to run around in the game. You have a map you select destinations from that you can battle in between story arcs, and that's really about it. The inn has a crafting station where you can craft relics to equip to the girls to unlock new moves, but there's almost no point in actually bothering with the crafting because money is plentiful and you can just buy the relics from the store that's in the inn, which also really doesn't make any sense to me. You own that inn. If that's your store, can you not just take this shit? There is a town in the game that you battle in. It would have been great if they allowed you to do some free roaming in this town and just buy shit there. They also could have put some NPCs there to give you side quests to make the battles that you can do between story arcs actually have a point. But really, none of that is in this game. This game just feels like very much a budget title. The environments all kind of look a little bit like shit. They chose a really weird art style for it. On the plus side, it translates to 3D really well, and some of it does look kind of imaginative. It's just not well done. I mean, the art's just not that good aside from the anime cutscenes. The music in the game is actually pretty good, which makes putting a soundtrack in this lenticular case probably the most valuable thing in this whole box. I value the soundtrack of this game more than the game itself. Overall, guys, I would say Lord of Magna is a total pass. I wouldn't bother with this. I'm kind of disappointed I did. I had it on my shelf for 2 years. It's maybe a 20-hour game, which is short for JRPG. And really, that 20 hours maybe has 5 hours of fun, so I don't know, at the $5 to $15 mark, maybe this is worth looking into. At full retail price, which this still is in most stores, don't bother. That's all I'm really going to say about this, guys. I probably left some things out, but there's really not a lot to this game. Just give it a pass. Anyway, thanks for watching.